Hello, it is Sunday, February 21st, 2021, and I know the overlay, or sorry, the pre-stream thing there, says that I stream Monday through Friday, but today is bonus stream. So, we are working on we're working on a game for the Games Plus Jam. I was going to say games, but no, we're only working on one. Multiple would be fun, but a bit too much for me. So let me just open the browser. No, you don't like that at all, do you? Now you do. Okay, yeah, I'm going to leave the Games Plus Jam stuff up while I get Unity up and running. Because that stream overlay, or that pre-stream thing, is a Unity project, and still don't understand why it behaves so weird. Whatever. Yeah, look at the Games Plus Jam thing, and I will switch over to Gamedev in just a second whenever my Unity actually loads. There we go. Okay. So let us swap over to Unity. There we go. And the camera settings here are about the same. Of course. Because I reconfigure the camera. Wait a minute. No, it's fine. Okay. It's just my imagination. Okay. There should be enough light that the camera doesn't have issues. But yeah, I've worked on this a little bit since well, between streams, I guess is the word. As you can see, I added, well, let me just do a thing. Let me just do this. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, I have the little UI in the bottom left. It does not actually do anything, so shooting doesn't actually cause any of the UI to update. We're going to do that today. This is sort of a first pass at trying to do terrain with this. Also, the water moves a little bit, so I kind of like that. Yeah, I think that's really the only things that I have messed with. So yeah, we're going to work on this UI stuff today. This is going to have to be fixed. But yeah, also I was working on a title screen. This is like the first pass of it. It's not great, but I don't think it's terrible. So it has Games Plus Jam thing. I need to fix the sky. It's kind of screwed up. It needs to be recolored to a different color, but this is the general idea, is it has the plane that's supposed to be kind of flying towards you with the missile kind of being shot. These are going to be replaced with like just random UI elements, not really, yeah, they're just kind of placeholder for now. But yeah, it's going to have a start thing, it's going to have a credit thing where we, cite Kevin MacLeod for all the music, and then it has links to YouTube and Twitch, and those actually do work. But I don't think I can actually show that from here. Or actually, wait, can I? Yeah, I can. Okay. But yeah, you just click on it, and it takes you to the page. So yeah, we're not even going to mess with that today because there's just no point. But yeah, that's what I have been working on off screen. So let us get the UI stuff working. So basically, okay, I want to see how the lighting affects. Okay, it's fine. I always get worried about the lighting. Okay, so the thing that we want to do for the UI, while I have a moment to think. So whenever we take damage, we want this to be a health bar that decreases over time, so that's pretty easy. I just have the pivot on this, the X pivot set to 0, and it's set to fill the parent horizontally. So if I change the X scale, it actually just changes the size of the bar. So basically the X scale is just a percentage, so this is 90% full, and these are little pips that are held inside of a grid component. So as the player loses bullets, they get removed. So as you can see, they appear left to right, and if we duplicate them, they do that. So that is set up, and this is basically how it's set up. It just sets the cell size, and then the cell size. I think it starts at middle left. That's the alignment fixed row count of 1. And basically it'll just add things on so that it fills to the right, basically. And then I have the same thing set up for the missiles. And so yeah, we just need to hook these up to the weapons so that they appear correctly and create the UI elements for those. And then finally we have this thing. I actually want this to change color just kind of at random. It won't indicate what parts of the plane are damaged, but it'll be kind of like the StarCraft indicator. Like I don't think the StarCraft one, like in StarCraft each unit has a little thing, and I don't think it means anything. I think it's just kind of for flavor. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So let us start with the health bar, and I think there's something else I wanted to do too, and I can't remember what it was now. I know I wanted to do the UI. And then was there anything else? No, that's definitely something else. Yeah, I can't think of it. Okay, let's just get started on the UI, and I will remember in time. So I do have, inside of scripts, I do have a UI folder. So we're going to create a health bar component. This will be a health bar component. So let us open that. And so basically the way we're going to do the health bar is based on like a function pointer kind of thing. And if you don't know what function pointers are, they're pretty simple. You'll learn in just a second, or in a minute or so, what they are. So we'll duplicate this, we'll do unity engine.ui. So I'm going to have a rect transform for the actual bar. I'm going to say public rect transform for the bar, yes. We're going to say public void on, now we'll just say set percentage. Yeah, set percentage. Then we'll have a float that will be the percentage. Then we will say the bar dot, I think it's, oh no, it's local scale, right? Is it local scale or is it something else? I think it's local scale. That's going to be equal to a new vector3. It's going to be, so we want to set the x scale. So the x scale is going to be the percentage. The float, or sorry, the y is going to be the bar.localscale.y, and the bar.localscale.z. That's because we want to just copy whatever these two values are, and that should just set the percentage. So that should work. And the way, I guess the way that we're going to do this is we're going to have like a HUD sort of controller. So we're going to have a HUD, we'll just say HUD component, and this will use like what's called a facade pattern. So basically we're going to represent the entire UI using this component. So we can just say public void set health, and then we're going to say float percentage, and then we will store a health bar component, and this will be the health bar. So we'll just delegate this call to the health bar dot set percentage, and this will be the percentage. Basically now, whenever we want to change the health, we don't have to worry about finding the health bar, we just find the HUD, and this will make it easier. You know, if we start doing the health some other way, yeah, it'll make it a little bit easier. And this will also help whenever we, whenever we do the, God, I can't think of it. The little indicator thingy, like the outline thingy. I don't know. It'll make sense in a minute. But yeah, the next thing we need, well, actually we want to test this. So the way that we're going to test that is in the player controller. We're going to create a method here. I'm going to call it public void, not void, void. We'll just say debug. So handle, I guess handle debug commands. And what we'll do is we will call, what's it called? What do we want to do? I'm trying to think of how we're going to actually do this. So this is handle debug commands. So we'll say if input dot get key down. Basically, whenever we hit the Q key, what I'm going to do is just have us take a little bit of damage. So what we'll do is we'll set health, or sorry, we'll call get component, or no, not get component, find component, or find object of type. So this will find an object of the type HUD component somewhere in the scene. And then we will say set health to be, I don't know, we'll track health somewhere. Say protected float health. We'll get rid of this in a minute or two. So actually, let's just say health 1 for now. So what we want to do is we want to say health. Set health to health, and we'll just say health minus equal to 0.1f. So that way we can see the bar kind of tick down over time. And after handle input, we'll just handle, we will handle the debug commands. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So now we have to put everything into the scene. So in the health, we're going to add a health bar component here. And then we're going to assign this to the actual bar. And then in this status thing, we're going to have this be, actually, yeah, the HUD component will go on the HUD itself. And then the health bar is right here. So now when we press Q, we should see the health bar is ticking down. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Also, we don't need to be in that perspective. Okay. So that works. And now we can stop tracking health here. We actually want to track health on the unit. And so the way that we're going to do this is basically whenever this unit, or whenever the unit takes damage, it needs to call the HUD component. But it doesn't, we don't want every unit to call the HUD component, we only want one of them to call it. So there's a couple ways to do this. The one that I'm going to use is we're going to have a public, we're going to use an action, and that comes from system. So an action is basically like a function that you can call, or basically it points to a function. And so since the function that we're going to point to is set percentage, I'm trying to find it. Since it takes a float, this action needs to have a float here. So this is going to be a function that takes a float and returns nothing. There's other types of actions, and I think there's also like a func thing, which is actually a function that returns something. But in our case, we're going to use action. We're going to say on take, or on health change is what we're going to call this. So what we can do is we can say here, the on health change, we're going to say the on health change, we're going to use the question mark operator. So basically, if this is not null, or if this evaluates to null, we just do nothing. Otherwise, we want to invoke that, and that will just call the function for us. We're going to call it with current health over max health, so this will be the percentage change in health. And so yeah. So basically we will change, or we'll set the current health, and then we will call this basically. And so now what we need to do is we need to actually assign this. So the player is going to have a unit, and so in the player controller, in the awake method, what we want to say is we want to say unit dot on health change plus equal to, and then in our case we're not going to need any of this. We'll just leave debug commands empty for a minute. We're going to assign this to a lambda, and this will be the percentage because it's going to take a float, and then that lambda will call find object of type HUD controller, or HUD component, and then it will say set health to the percentage. So what this does is this creates a method here. Sorry, this is a lambda. This creates basically a method with no name. So really this is just declaring a method with a single line, and that single line just finds the HUD component and sets health to the percentage. And this plus equals operator says anytime we call this action, just call all the methods that we've assigned with plus equals. So now whenever the player unit takes damage, it's going to call on health change, which points to this method which will set the health. So in debug commands, I was wrong. We actually need a thing here. What we need to do is we need to say if input, not invoke, input, whoa, no. Put get key down, keycode.q. What we do is we call unit.takeDamage, and then we'll say it takes, I don't know, 0.1 points of damage. And so this will have the same effect that we had before, because we'll call unit component.takeDamage, which will in and of itself call the on health change. Let me think about this. So actually we want to call on health change early on because we want to initialize the unit. Okay, so another thing we want, okay, actually this will become apparent why this is important in just a second. Okay, so I believe the player has 1 point of health. I think that's how it's set up right now. That can be changed later. If we go into the player jet, if we go into debug, we can see that the current health is 1 and the max health is 1. So if I hit Q, we get 0.9 health, and now you can see that the health bar is changing, even though we're not actually calling the HUD component directly. So that's how we're doing that. And I think, oh wow, that's interesting. Okay, I'm glad that code works. Hadn't tried that before. That's cool. But one thing you see is that the HUD, because it has, it starts off at 0.9, it doesn't update exactly the first time, so we want to fix that. We want to call initialize, or actually no, on health change, what we want to do is we want to turn this into a property. So we'll have get, and then we'll have set. And what we will do is when we set it, we will say, or we'll create a action to back this. So we'll say a protected action on health change. Actually, will we be able to do this? Yes, we will. This will be a float. This will be an on health change. On health change. And I think this will work with auto properties, but I'm not actually entirely sure. Actually, I don't know what the value would be. No, actually, I don't want to do this because I don't know how that would work. It probably does, but I don't know how it would work. So actually what we'll do is we'll just call an initialize method. Or actually, wait, when does this happen? This happens on awake, so yeah, sure, let's just call this on private void start. Or yeah, just call this on start because it's guaranteed to be assigned by that point. And we'll just say on health change dot invoke current health over max health. That should work. So that'll just cause it to fix the health bar regardless of where the health bar is. And so yeah, as you can see, the health bar fixed itself. Okay, that's good. So now that we have that working, we need to do basically a similar thing for the weapons. Actually, let's hit the enemy, make sure we don't get any null pointers, because they also call this code. Okay, no null pointers, good. I was pretty sure we wouldn't get any, but I just wanted to double check. So we're going to do a similar thing with the weapons. So in the weapons, what we want to do is in weapon component, we have current bullets, and then we have clip size. Okay, yeah. So when we fire, we want to have, oh right, well we don't have a fire method. Okay, well, that's fine. Have public void on fire, or not public void, we'll have public action. We need to import system to get action. And what we want is we want to pass an int here, because this will be the ammo remaining. We'll say on, I guess on fire. I guess then on ammo change. Yeah, that'll work. Actually, can we have a dual action? I think we can. Yeah, okay, we'll just do it this way, on ammo change. And this will be the amount we have versus the total clip size. And actually, we don't need to do that. We just need to pass the amount remaining. So this is on ammo change. And we can do the same thing that we did otherwise. So on finish reloading, we'll say on ammo change dot invoke, and we'll say current bullets. So now, what we need to do is in the HUD component, we need to say public void set bullets int amount. This is the number of bullets that we have. And we will have a public void set missiles. This is int amount. Okay. So now in our what's it called, machine gun here? Yeah. Whenever we fire, what we want to do is we want to say on ammo change, and then we will say current bullets. What we also want to do is we want to have the question mark, and we want to have dot invoke. That way, if we haven't set up anything for here, if we don't have any methods here, we won't get any null pointers. So we'll say on ammo change dot invoke, and then in the missile weapon component, we'll do the same thing. So on ammo change dot invoke. And these both inherit from weapon component, so they actually get this on ammo change. And so now in the player controller, we need to go into the machine gun here and into the missile weapon component and actually set those up. So we'll say machine gun dot on ammo change plus equals, and then we'll say amount, and we'll say a lambda, and we'll do the same thing here. We will find the HUD component, and then we'll say set bullets to amount, and then we're going to use link for this part. For iterating over this list, we could do it with a for each loop, but I'm lazy and I don't like to do that. Also, I don't like for each loops for other reasons, but we actually may not need, no wait, we don't need system.link, I'm wrong. Never mind. But what we're going to do is we're going to say missiles dot for each. And so for each missile, what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to create another lambda, so we're going to have nested lambdas here, which are always fun. Actually, this will be missile launcher. What we're going to say is missile launcher dot on ammo change. We're going to say plus equals, and then we're going to have another lambda. Or actually, no, because we can't do that. We want the missiles to be, no, we want the missiles to be aggregated together. So scratch that, we can't do that. What we can say, well no, actually we can say, find objective type, what we can say is plus equals to, we're going to say not on ammo change, we're going to say unused. Yeah, unused, we're not going to use the value of the ammo. And we're going to say HUD component, we're going to say set missiles. And then what we want to do is we want to determine how many missiles are left. So that's going to be, basically what we want is we want actually another lambda. I'm going to say missiles dot, not count. We want to actually map them to something. So we're going to use system.link. We're going to say missiles dot where missile, say launcher. So we want missiles where the launcher dot is reloading. What can we get from the missile launcher stuff? Missile weapon component, oh, from weapon component we can't get is reloading? Okay. Well, what I want to do is I want to rename this is reloading. I'll make this public. What we'll have a protected, no, we'll have a get, public get, and then protected set. That's what we'll do. So now we can determine if it's reloading. or what we don't want to, well, missile launchers can only have one ammo, so that's fine. So this will work for now. So we're going to say launchers where they are not reloading. And then we'll say .toList.count. So the number of missiles is going to be equal to the number of missile launchers that are not reloading. That's what we're going to do. And I think that'll work. So yeah, for each missile launcher, we will create a lambda that basically does this. It grabs the HUD component, it sets the missiles equal to the number of missile launchers where the launcher is not reloading. So that will be, assuming each launcher can only have one missile, that will work. Which is true for now, and I think that will remain true. So yeah. All we need to do is in the missile weapon component, we need to call on ammo change. We need to make sure that we call that after we set the reloading. Yes, okay, which we do. All right, so let us make these things actually work. So we need for the UI, we need an ammo counter component, And for that, what we will need is we need to say Unity engine.ui. We need to import that. What we will have is we will have a public rect transform holder. So this will probably be ourselves. Then we'll have a public game object template. So this way we don't have to store these as prefabs. There's just not really a point in doing that. I'd rather just use a template. And yeah, so what we'll do is we'll say private void awake. Oh wait, do we need to do this on awake? No, we don't. Have a public, we need to have a method to set the number of bullets. Say public void set bullets. It doesn't need to return anything, and it needs to take the amount of bullets. You can't have part of a bullet, you can only have a fixed number, so we're going to use an int. And what we will do is we will say, so there's two ways to do this. We can either remove all of the bullets and add, we can remove bullets until we get the right number, or we can add bullets until we get the right number. What we need to do is we need to say if amount is equal to holder.child count -1. The reason that we do the -1 is because we have the template. Then that means that we're already displaying the correct number, so we want to return. We'll say if amount is less than holder.child count -1, and actually what we'll say is var current bullets is equal to holder.child count -1, because otherwise it's going to annoy me. You don't really need to do that. It might be a little bit overkill, but you know, if it's less than current bullets, then we want to remove, and we should probably do these in else. Well, it doesn't really matter, so we'll just say else. Yeah, else if, or just else, because this will be the other case, which is we have more. So if we have fewer bullets, if we've lost bullets, then what we want to do is we want to say holder dot. Can we get the last child? Child count. No, what we can say is we can say holder.getChild. Actually, because in this case we need to remove things. So we'll say for int, I guess count is equal to 0. This is the number, this is the ones that we're removing. Remove is equal to 0, or removed, I guess, is equal to 0. And then removed is going to be less than the current bullets minus amount. And then we're going to say removed plus plus. And what we will do is we will say, what we'll say is, trying to think, say holder.getChild at the current bullets minus removed. think that'll work. I think that'll work, because current bullets should be at the end. But we want that to be actually... I think that'll actually work. Because, okay, so if we have 3 bullets, right? Then the holder.child count is going to be 4. So we'll say the current bullets is 3. And so if the amount is equal to 3, then that'll be fine. If the amount is 2, for instance, then we will remove this. Current will be 3. Actually, amount never changes. No, wait, that's fine though. Both those don't need to change. So it'll be current bullets minus removed, which will be at 3, which will be the end of the index. Yes, okay. We will say destroy. We just want to destroy it. I think this will grab the transform, so we want to say GameObject. And then otherwise, we want to say we want to basically do the opposite. We'll just say while current bullets less than amount. And I guess we can convert this to an expression defined member. Oh, actually, can you not do expression defined members that way? Oh, okay, never mind. Let's not do that. While this expression is less than amount, what we will do is we will say instantiate. We want to create copies of the template basically. So instantiate the template inside the holder as the parent. Then we will say var counter is equal to that. So that's the object that we just created. Say counter.localScale, or say counter.transform.localScale equals vector3.1. That's because whenever you instantiate like this, you can get weird scaling issues. So I believe this will work. Let us do this just because C# can do some weird implicit conversion nonsense. So the only case we might have issues with is this one. But yeah, I think that should be fine as long as everything's set up right. Okay. So now here we will have the public ammo counter component, the missile counter. Then we'll have the public ammo counter component, bullet counter. And then we'll say set bullets, we'll say bullet counter dot set bullets equal to amount. And then we're going to say the missile counter dot set bullets is equal to amount. And that should just all work if I did that right, which is very unlikely, but it's possible. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all of these. And then we want to get rid of you. We want to disable both of those. I want to turn this off of debug into normal. Say this is the ammo counter component, and then this will be the ammo counter component. Alright. Nope, not that. Say ammo counter component. Alright. So this, the holder will be ourselves, and in this case the holder will be ourselves, and then that will be the template, and then that will be the template. Alright. And now in the HUD, we want to set this to be the bullet counter and that to be the missile counter. So, in theory, if I did that right, whoa. Okay, oh, so they're all disabled. Okay, that's the problem. So it's in here. What we need to do is we need to say counter.setActive true. And for this, we could do a thing where we set them inactive. I don't want to do that. It's just too much of a hassle. Okay. So now, yep, there we go. The missiles, that's not working. Whatever, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, the missiles aren't working, and I gotta figure out why. Yeah, okay. So are both of those, because it's not setting the reloading. yet. Alright, that's the problem. So really it needs to do this at the very end. And I mean, here it can basically do the same thing, not in weapon, but in machine gun thing, it can do the same thing at the end. That's probably fine. Yeah, that's fine. Because the only time we return early is when we don't fire, so we do have to fire once to set these up, but I think the missile thing is actually working otherwise. Because in a second, yeah. So yeah, we have the missiles working and the bullets are working. Okay. And I thought I set that to go up to 25. How many are there? There's 40. Why are there 40? I think something is wrong with that. Because I don't think the player has 40 ammo, do they? Oh, they do have 40 ammo. Okay. So it's shots per second. I thought it was 25 for some reason. I think it will be 25, because that's what I set up the UI for. Which is always a good reason to do things, but you know, whatever. So what we'll do is we'll do the machine gun here at 25, and then we'll say 15 shots per second. It's probably fine. And so now it has the same problem the health bar had, but yeah, now we're good. Okay. That missile's just gonna forever have issues. Yeah. I like that. That was interesting. Okay, yeah, now we're down to 1 bullet. So if I do that, yeah, there we go. I like that. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to actually make those update immediately, and I think the way to do that is just to have a weapon in the weapon component, we're going to have a protected virtual void start. I know you shouldn't do this, but we're doing it anyway. So what we'll say is on ammo change.invoke. No, actually that's fine. Yeah, on ammo change invoke, and we'll just say current bullets. And that should be fine. And actually, no, this should just happen on finish reloading, actually. Which, oh, okay, but it doesn't because it, Let's just do that. That just makes more sense right now. And that should fix everything, I think. Yeah, there we go. So we have bullets, and we already have missiles now, and we have the ammo. So yeah, now we're out of ammo, and we're reloading. There we go. Now we have more. Perfect. Love it. So yeah, that crazy lambda that I created, that, you know, nested lambdas actually work. So yeah, now we can take damage as well. Okay, perfect. Love it. Okay. Now what was the other thing I wanted to do? Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do the, because I want to have like a dialogue kind of UI. And so that's what I wanted to do, is like a dialogue system kind of thing. Not really like a system, but like, you know, you can, like kind of like like JRPGs have or whatever, where you can see things, people talk to you and it shows up with the, you know what I mean. You know, where it has like 2 people talking and it shows the text between them. So yeah, I wanted to do that. So let us work on that. So we'll have the, not the HUD, but we'll have the status stuff go away for the moment. And then I will create some kind of panel here. It's going to have, I guess it's going to be anchored to the bottom, yeah. And it can have a width of, why is that large? It really shouldn't be. Did I not set the canvas scaling? I didn't set the canvas scaling. Oh, that sucks. Alright. 1920 by 1080. Just like things to be about that size. And then how big is the status now? Probably huge. Yeah, it's huge. Okay. Let me just fix that. Alright, let's get rid of this. Okay, so status. We need to scale that a little bit. That seems good. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but it'll be fine. You saw what it looked like, so okay. I just put it to that scale again. So there we go. That should be fine. I say should, let's play it and just be sure. Okay, yeah, everything's fine. Let me just maximize it so that I can see. Alright. Yeah, I kind of like that HUD scale. It's probably fine. Yeah, shoot someone down. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. Alright. Let us go to what is it here? Yes. Okay. So let's deactivate this. Let's activate you. Let's activate you. I'll say a width of maybe 900 and maybe a height of, I don't know, 300? That's too big. 200. Not 20, 200. Yeah, it's about the right size. Okay. This should probably be maybe 1200? That might be too much. 1100. That's probably good. So yeah, basically we'll have the text appear in the middle, then we'll have someone appear on the left, someone appear on the right. And yeah, work that way. Let me just set the background to a flat color and have it just be dark because that's very easy to make kind of a stylistic UI. So this will be, well, let's wrap this in something else with a size of 0, 0. Yeah. All right. And this will be like the dialogue. And then the text will appear here, so we'll have a UI, TMP, an input field, just text. This will there, and then we'll have this be 10 from each side. Just give it some nice padding. Is 10 enough? No. So 25, 25, nope, not 250, 25. 25, perfect. Is that good? Yeah, that's good. Okay. And so of course we want this to be bold, and this is Text Mesh Pro, so we can add an outline, which I think we have. No, I don't think that has, does that have an outline? 0.5. Yes, it does. Okay, 0.2. Why is it appearing like it's behind there? Let's say 50, 40? It's very dull for some reason. I don't know. It's weird. What's the difference between bold and not bold? No, that's definitely fine. If I do outline, no. Yeah, I don't know why that looks bad. Maybe just not having the outline is better. Doesn't really change anything. Sure, that, no. 0.1, 0.2, no. Actually, no, 0.2 actually looks better. Let's say 0.2, no. 1. That's just getting harder to read, isn't it? That's probably better. So yeah, and then let's make sure that the wrapping actually works. Whoops. Yeah, the wrapping seems to be fine. Okay. And maybe we'll have this be 36 after all. Not 26, 36, yeah. Okay, so this will be the text, whatever that might be. And yeah, we'll just call this text. Then in here, we will duplicate this. And I will create a panel that's like 300 by 300. Just move it over to the side here. Is that good? Yeah, that's probably good. Let's not have those overlap. Let's just have that there. Okay. This will be character 1, so it'll be person on the left. And then there will be some kind of nameplate for them. Probably want, this is going to be the name. This is not going to have that scaling. It's probably just going to be 0, 0. No, it isn't. Yes, it is, because we're going to center it, and we're not going to have wrapping. I want to have wrapping disabled so that it just appears to the left like that. And that will be almost imperceptible, so we'll have a little like nameplate kind of thing. I want that to be centered, yeah, like that, okay. Then under character 1, we will just duplicate this, give this a height of maybe 40. That's probably fine, and then we'll anchor this to the bottom. We'll have a height of, right, we're going to just delete this. Anchor this to here. This will have a height of 20. Yes, okay. And the text, this will be the name plate. And actually, this can expand to fill its parent. Set everything to 0. It'll be centered. Cool. And yeah, that'll just be the name of whatever that character is. I think that'll be fine. Needs to be a little smaller though. Needs to be like 30. Yeah. So we'll say the name right here. Okay. And yeah, I think that should be good. Yeah, okay. So we'll just duplicate this, and then we'll set its offset to be the positive of whatever that was. So now it's to the left and right. We'll say that this is character 2. We'll say that this is character 2. Now it comes to a question of how we actually store this information, the information for the dialogue itself. So we got to think on that for a minute. So we can either do this completely through the editor, or we can store this in a text file. I think I'm going to opt for the text file route. So with that, what I think I need is, I think I need to go to the asset store. Sure. Wait, no, we don't. It's not the asset store. It's the package manager. Let me move this over. What I'm going to grab is, oh god, where is it? Not in the project. Registry? No. I don't want to give away too much information here. But I'm going to be using the Json.net utility for Unity. So I'm just going to grab that, and it's this JSON.net stuff. We're just going to store stuff in JSON. I'm going to remove the documentation. What do we need? Windows standalone. I don't think we, no, I think we do need that. The AOT, I think we do need that. The Windows, I think these are, yeah, sure, whatever. .NET source, I don't think we need that. Link, I don't think we need. I think we just need the assemblies. I'm going to keep the link just, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep the assemblies. Okay. I think that's fine. If worst comes to worst, I can re-import it later. Yeah, we're just going to store everything in JSON because I like JSON. And we'll let this go for just a minute. Reload script assemblies. Yeah, you do that. JSON.net, etc., etc. All right. So now, in here, we have assets, we have scripts. We're going to have assets. We're going to have scripts. We're going to have data. So these will not be components. And what we'll have is we'll have a, sure, we'll call it a mono behavior, although it won't be. This will be a dialog, have like a dialog root object. This is going to be a plain C# class, and I don't think we have to do anything special to it. We're just going to have a dialog, and then we will have a class, we'll call this a dialog segment. So a dialogue is going to contain multiple segments, and each segment is going to tell us who's talking. And the dialogue itself, well, actually, sure. We will say public. God, what are we going to have in here? I mean, we're going to have at least a string for the text. So this is going to be the text of who's talking. I'm wondering if dialogues could have more than 2 characters. I don't think we're going to do that. So we'll say public string character 1 name, public string character 2 name. Then we'll have a public list of dialogue segments. I think we can use system collections generic here to get list. So this will be a list of the segments in the dialogue. So say segments. Right, that should be fine. And then in each segment, we're just going to say we're going to have a public bool is left character. So this will just be whoever is talking. So if this is set to true, it'll mean that the left character is talking. If it's set to false, it'll mean that the right character is talking. So that's how we'll do this. So what we want to do is now we want to have in the UI, we'll have, I guess, dialogue, and we'll have a dialogue controller component. So what this will do is this is going to have a public, we probably want to, whoa, why is that? Oh, okay, that's not on that screen. That scared me. Oops. I was like, wait, why is the asset store still open? It's not. Okay. So the dialogue controller component, what we're going to want is you're going to want a, there's one of 2 ways we can do this. We can either feed in the text asset directly, or we can feed in the name of the dialogue. We probably want to feed in the text asset directly. So we're going to say public, we're going to create a method that we give it a text asset, and then it'll decode the JSON from that text asset and run the dialogue with that. So we're going to say public void dialogue controller. It'll be, I guess, show. Then it'll be the text asset JSON. So this will be, text file. Sure. Maybe just file. Yeah, just file. That's enough. And then, yeah, what we will do is we want to decode that. So I think it's Newtonsoft. It's newtonsoft.json is what we're going to be using. We'll say var JSON is going to be equal to, or no, what is it? Is it, I think it's JSON converter. No, it's JSON convert dot deserialize object. I think we do file.text, and we want to deserialize it into a dialogue object, I believe. Yes, okay. So this will be var dialogue is equal to that. And all we want to do after that is we want to run that dialogue. And so the way that we're going to do that is we're going to have a protected void run, and we're going to have dialogue. Do we need to do that? Probably. Well, we're going to have to store, I'm trying to think of how we actually do this. We're going to have a protected void, we're going to show a segment. Void show segment. And it's going to be a dialogue segment. It's going to be segment. So let's start here, and then we'll just move up from there. So we can, I guess, run this dialogue. And then what we will be doing is we'll have a, well, we need unityengine.ui. So the first thing we need to do is we need to have a, oh, we also need TMP. using tmpro, have a public text, it'll be a tmp text message pro text, and this will be the text. This will be whoever is talking, whatever they're saying. So in this case, what we'll do is we'll say text.text is equal to segment.text. So when we showed segment, we want to update whatever the text is, and then we will have a public image. This will be the character on the left. This will be the left curtain, and we'll have a public image right curtain. And so what these do is these will just sort of gray out the image of the character so we know who's not talking. That's what it will do. And so what we'll say is the left curtain dot set active. Wait, set active. That game object dot set active? Okay, interesting. I guess that makes sense. There's no reason for this to be an image. It'll just be game object. That's fine. We'll just say set active is equal to, so the left curtain is going to be active when the segment.isLeft character is true. Otherwise it'll be false, and then the right curtain is going to be active when that is false. So these will be just opposites of each other all the time. And we could set one to not whatever the other is, but I don't care to do that. We could, but I'm not going to. And so for this, what we want to do is we want to have a public void update probably, or do we? We'll do it this way for now. And we'll also have a protected bool is showing, just say is showing. So in the update, we'll say if is showing. And actually, no, we can just set ourselves inactive. So we don't need this. What we'll say is if input.getKeyDown, say keycode.space. So we'll just press space to advance for now. We need to have a protected dialog. This is the current one. And so what we'll say is show segment, and then we'll have a protected int segment. What we'll say is we'll say dialog.segments at the index of whatever segment we're currently showing. Then we'll say segment ++. Yeah, so, well, no, what we'll do is, yeah, we'll do that. Then I guess what we'll say is if segment greater than dialog, nope. Segment greater than dialog.segments.count. It's greater than or equal to the count minus 1. Yes, because that'll be the end. If it's greater than that. Wait, no. Okay, I'm getting confused. Count minus 1, if it's greater than or equal to the count. But if it's equal to the count, actually, yeah. So if it's equal to the count, that would mean that it's too high. So what we want to do is we want to say set active. Wait, can we not set ourselves active? No, it's not, because we say GameObject.setActive, false. Basically just stop showing anything. And say public void hide. Say hide, and this will just hide everything. So yeah, and in this we'll just do that basically. So just say hide. Okay, and also dialog is equal to null. Well, no, there's no reason to do that. So yeah, that's what we'll do, and then so it's show, we'll say segment is equal to 0. And, well, actually, no. In run, we say segment is equal to 0, and then we'll say show segment, dialog dot segments of 0. So we will show the first segment. We'll say segment equals 0. And then also dialog is equal to dialog. All right. And we'll use this, and then we might as well use segment because we have it. And then that will show that. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to, in run, we want to load character names. Actually, this is a bit complicated, so let's just test it for now. But yeah, I think this will work. So what we want to do is in the HUD controller component, or in the HUD component, we want to have a public dialog controller component dialog. And so what we want to do is we want to say something like public void show dialog, and then we'll say text asset, text or file, I guess, and then we'll say dialog dot show, and then this will be the file. All right, and yeah, I think we will do that. And so in the game manager component, we will create a public text asset temp dialog. So this will just be a temporary dialog that we're testing. Say on private void start, what we want to do, we want to say find object of type. This will be the HUD component. We'll say show dialog, and then what we'll do is we'll show the temp dialog. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay. So in show, we actually do want to set ourselves to active. Say game object dot set active true. All right. So we'll work on animations in a bit whenever we get all of this done and, you know, everything. But I think that will work. We do need to assign the curtains and stuff like that, so we can. This is the nameplate. Yeah. Okay. What we probably want to do is we probably want to duplicate that. Let me delete this. Then let's put this here as the image. And I guess we won't have any image quite yet. So I have the image, we can, oh no, we want that as the background. This will be the image, so we can basically set that completely transparent for now. Then we'll duplicate it and we will set its alpha to be that value, and this will be the curtain. Okay. So yeah, we'll gray out the name, and this will be the image of the character. All right. So we will just copy these, and we'll paste them into here. And I think they need to have a 0, 0 as the, no. 0, 0? No, they need to have some other value, 150 on the Y, okay. We'll grab both of them, and we can say 150 on the Y. Okay, there we go. So now, in here, we can have a dialog controller component. So whenever we turn this off, yeah, it'll be hidden. Perfect. And then in the HUD, we can set this here. And then in here, we need to set the text there. We need to set the, this is the left curtain, I think. That one. Yeah, that one's on the left. And then here, this will be the right curtain. Yes, okay. So now we'll have this turn itself off. Okay. Perfect. And then what else are we doing? What we need to do is we need to create the actual data file. Right, so in assets, I'm going to create a folder, call it data, and we'll say dialog. probably move this to a resources folder later. We'll say create a, well, actually, let's just go into the show and explore. Then what I'll do is I'll go in here and I will create a text document. This will be test, go, actually test.json. Not that it actually matters. And we'll create a slight JSON object there. So JSON, it's like JavaScript basically. What we will have is actually this has to match, I don't know if it has to, but it should at least. Match this object, so it'll have character1 name. We'll say character1 name is name. Oops, say name1. Then we will have, whoops, really shouldn't be doing this in Notepad. I should have something better, but too lazy. All right, so I'll have this be name2. And then we will have segments. Segments, yes, okay. And this will be a list. Just start a list like that. Oh God, not used to Notepad. So for each segment, I think we have an, it's like is left character. And this will be true, which I think is uppercase. Is it uppercase in JSON? No, it's uppercase in Python. It's lowercase here. And then this will be the text, which will be segment1. Segment1. Okay. Now we can duplicate this, and we'll just have it alternate between left and right. And yeah, let's do it 4 times. Sure. Do 4 tests. Okay. Say false here, and that false, cool. And then this will be 2, and this will be 3, and this will be 4. Okay. In theory, that should work. So now, have test.json, and this is fine. So in the game manager, we just need to reference this text asset. Cool. And now, if I did that right, this should just work. Let's see. So yes, okay, so we have segment1, the left curtain is active. I need to invert those, but otherwise it's fine. So I hit space, nothing happens. Oh, okay, there we go. I think it needed to activate for some reason. Okay. Index out of bounds. Okay. Non-negative. So something broke. All right. So the first issue that I saw is that these two need to be inverted. Because the left curtain needs to be active if the left character is not speaking. So segment, if it's greater than or equal to count, if it's equal to the count, but it should, no, that should be correct. Because if the count is 4, if it would be 3, yeah, it should be fine. Maybe I'm thinking about that wrong. Anyway, if I hit space here, yeah, nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? So I hit space there. Why did nothing happen? Because it's going to show segment 0, that's why. So actually this does need to go first. So if it's equal to the count, then we show the next segment. Okay. That should work, maybe? Okay. So I hit space, that works, that works, that works, and then we hit this, and then it breaks. It breaks because we don't return. That's the problem. All right. So in hide, we just do return. There we go. As easy as that. now it flips between the two, and then we stop. Okay, perfect. Now we need to read the names of the left and right characters, and we also need to set their images. So in this case, we're going to use TMP text for left character name. And then in this case, we're going to use also TMP text for the right character name. And then we will work on animation in a bit. So in the show, we're going to, now it's going to be in run. We're going to set all this up. So in run, we're going to say the left character name is equal to dialog.character1 name. And no, it's going to be dialog.text, not .tag, text. And then the right character name is going to be .text is equal to dialog.character2 name. Yeah. Okay. And that should load their names as soon as we do, or as soon as we assign these here. And I think it's name 1 and name 2 for now. So in our case, the nameplates, by default, they display just name. But here, I'm going to have left character name and right character name. Okay. So now we have name 1 and name 2, and as we can see, this one is brighter, so that means that it's running. Perfect. All right. And then the next thing we probably want to do is we probably want to have images for these. So I got to think of the way that I'm going to do that. We could probably load them from resources. So if I go to GIMP, then I just create a simple little character. Just say new, sure, these will be 512 by 512. They're going to be used for literally a day, and that'll be it. Delete layer. So we're going to have a circle that needs to be darker. Going to have something relatively close to a circle. Sure. Then characters. Sure, eyes. Then a happy face. Okay. Then I will give them a background color, just so that we can recolor this sprite and prove that it's two different ones. Or wait a minute. Actually, yeah, that's how we'll have to do it. I'll apply this as a layer mask. Then I will grab this, and I will turn one of them blue, or a blue-ish color. Sure, that's blue. Why not? Then let's export, and I'm going to export them into that Unity folder. It's going to be this. It'll be assets. We need to do folder. We need resources. And then it will be characters, because we'll probably load them dynamically, and then it will be character1. Now we'll call it character A. That'll be fine. So we'll export it, and then the other one we will make a red color, and say file, export as, and then I'm going to export it as character B. Okay. We'll export it, cool. Now let's delete these, because that'll be fine. And then here, Unity should find resources, characters, character A, character B. Why did I not export them with the alpha channel? Oh wait, no, I did. Alpha is transparent. Yes, there we go. Character A, character B. Cool. So now, in the dialog itself, we should have, well actually, we can use character 1 and character 2, actually, no. Public string, we'll say character 1 image, and then we'll say public string character 2 image. Yeah. And that'll just be the name of the image file. And we can find that by doing resources.load. So there's a couple things we need to do. The first one is we need a public image, character1 image, public image, character2 image. What we will do is we will have character, or no, it'll be left and right, because I want left and right as the syntax here, or the, what is it, not syntax, but the naming convention. Left and right, say, not right image, right character image, okay. This will be the left character image. So in this case, we would say the left character image dot sprite is equal to resources dot load, and it'll be loading a sprite from the characters slash, and then we will do an interpolated string. If you're not familiar with interpolated strings, basically we just replace, or C# will replace whatever is in these brackets with whatever variable name we put in there, or whatever expression, I think. So in our case, it will be dialog.character1image, and then for the right character, we'll be basically doing the same thing. So it'll be the right character image, and then it'll be character2 image. Okay. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to update our we need to update the dialog to actually have that. I think these are sprites. They are not. Right, we need these to be sprites. Done that before. Okay. And then another thing we need to do is we need to actually assign the values in dialog. Yes, okay. So this is the left character image, and that is the right character image. Then in data dialog, we need to show this, show that in the Explorer. I'm going to open this and edit it. Okay, so we have name1, we're going to have character, or no, actually these are fine. So it'll be name1. It's character1 image, I think. Character1 image. This will be character A. And I don't know if we need the file extension. I think we actually do. Let's just assume we do. So character B.png, character A.png. So character2 image. Okay. So I believe this might work now. Nope. Something broke. What broke? Why did that happen? Oh, that's why it didn't work. Because the alpha is set to 0. That's one reason it didn't work. Could be other reasons. But that one definitely wasn't helping. Okay. Why did that not work? Also, why did we not get an error for it? Am I crazy? Or does the PNG not need to be there? It's possible that the PNG doesn't need to be there. I thought for sure that it did. Maybe I'm crazy? Maybe it doesn't? I gotta think about that. Nope, that doesn't work either. These get assigned to null. Alright, I have to look at Unity resources.load. Okay. This will be Unity resources.load. This is resources.load assets sprite 01. So that should just work, should it not? Am I crazy? Because that's the correct path. No, it's not, because I didn't spell it right. That's not helping. Hey, there we go. So yeah, as you can see, it loads character 1, character 2 with name 1 and name 2. And then now it will gray out one, like the curtain will appear. And yeah, okay, I like that. The next thing I want to do is I want to animate that a little bit, and I want to make it a little bit more modular. But I'm going to take a quick break, and we will do that afterwards, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you in just a minute. Well, actually, it'll be like 5 to 10 minutes. So yeah, see you back here at 2:30. Alright, and we are back. Okay, so let us start this. Let me wait for the camera to readjust and see if it has decided. Nope, it has decided to be stupid now. No, go away. Don't need your support. Let's see, can I lower this a little bit? I can't. Okay, cool. Oh my god, go away. I don't care. Okay. So, yes, okay, that's all back. Good, good, good. Everything is working. Alright, so what I want to do is I want the text to sort of appear, kind of piecemeal. So the way that we're going to do that is, I believe, with a coroutine. I think that's how we'll do that. I gotta think about that. God, what's the easiest way? It'd have to be a coroutine, right? And I think it comes from, I thought that came from what is it? It's system.generic, right? Isn't it public IE num? It's like an IE numerable or whatever. It's using Unity, or not Unity, it's system.collections.generic, I think. I think it's an I enumerator. So this should be a animate text. And I think those can take a text as an argument. So it should be a string text. I think that's right. Animate show text. And this can yield return null. Enumerator. Using the generic type. What do I need? Is it system? Is it just system.collections? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And so yeah, it'll take animate show text. I thought that they could. Hang on, let me just double check this. Coroutine. Let me just double check that they can take text. I thought they could, but maybe I am not correct on that. Our enumerator, wait time, coroutine. Oh, okay, so you can point to it that way. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Oh, okay, because that grabs the first frame of it. Okay, that makes sense. Is there a nicer way to do that? I guess not, right? Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. We'll have to deal with it. I guess animate show text. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll say text, not text, we'll say for each, I guess, var character in text. Because I think you can loop over a string that way. Yes, you can. Okay. We will say, I guess, since var current text is equal to the empty string, we will say current text plus equal to character. Then we will say the text dot text is equal to current text. Something like that. Actually, can we just do current text plus equals character? I think we can. Yeah, we'll just do that, so we don't even need to track that. Okay. So yeah, what we're trying to do is we just show the text character by character, and then we will say yield return wait for seconds, and then we'll have some kind of delay of a public, and we'll just have this be constant. There's no reason to set it. Well, actually, a public float text speed, that might be an option or something. No, it'd have to be text speed or text delay. Sure. Yeah, that'll work. We point, sure, that would be the 10th of a second. Show 10 characters a second, nah, that'll be 1/5 of a second. So we'll wait for the text delay. Oh, yield return new, wait for seconds. Yeah, there we go. So what we'll do is we'll say protected bool is animating. So is animating. And we'll say is animating equals true, is animating equals false at the end here. Okay. And I don't think this is needed, right? It is not. Okay, good. Good. And so yeah, what we'll do is instead of showing all the text at once, we'll say game object, or no, I think it's start coroutine. I think we started on ourselves. Let's say start coroutine. We can say var coroutine, or actually no, it should say start coroutine. We can say animate show text of segment.text. Does that work? Yes, it does. Okay, so we just start that coroutine. I think that'll work. And then what we say is unkey down space. What we'll say is if is animating. And then I think we can stop a coroutine, right? Stop all coroutines on ourselves. Then we'll say is animating, or no, actually is animating will be false. Then we will say text, so text.text is equal to dialog of segments.text. So basically we just show the text all at once, and then we want to return. So yeah, if you hit spacebar, it will just fast forward, is basically what we're doing. And so if I run this, I believe that should work, if I'm not crazy. So yeah, as you can see, we get text segment 1, segment 2, we're not clearing the text. Okay, that's an issue. Yeah. On run, what we'll say is text.text is equal to nothing. And actually for show segment, we want to eliminate all the text. Okay, that's what we do. Just clear out the text. Maybe it should be animate show text should do it. So yeah, segment 1, and then we fast forward with the spacebar, and so yeah. Perfect. Love it. Actually, should that be an animate show text? Probably, right? Sure. Because we always call animate show text. So that shouldn't cause anything to break. Okay, yep, nothing breaks. Awesome. Love it. Okay, and so now I want the start and finish of that. Like the start and, like whenever it appears, I want it to sort of animate into existence, if that makes any sense. So I believe to do that, we need to add an animator. And then in assets, we want to create a folder for animations. Animations. And then I think with this selected, if we open the animator window, what is it? Panel? No, it's not panel. It's animation. It's the animator. I think we put that here. And then I think there's an animation window. Yeah, an animation. Like this is your timeline, basically. Kind of want that here. So yeah, start animating HUD, create a new animation. So create this, we create a clip in animation. Create a new folder, we'll call this HUD. Call this start, I guess, or show. Sure, this will be the show, animation. So in here, or in the timeline, we want this to be, I guess this is like a 1 second animation or something. So in the timeline, we want to start here, and then we want to check the keyframes. We want you to all be, I don't know why the children are not. Okay, enable keyframe recording mode. Yeah. And, why can I not? Interesting, I thought I could animate. If I do this? No? Why do you have an animator? Oh, did I put it on the dialogue? I put it on the dialogue, I'm an idiot. Alright. Let us delete. Let's just delete this. We'll call this dialogue. That's why it doesn't work. Alright, let's just delete these. That's me being a genius. Okay. Yeah, let's create a clip for dialogue and call it show. There we go. Okay, now you have an animator, but you need to just be removed. Yeah, now you can enable keyframe recording, and I want to go to the end. I want you to be -403, let's say -400 at the end, and you -350, and you at -350. Basically, that'll just, make these appear their correct positions, record their positions. Here, I actually want you to be off the screen, so I want you to be at 1200, not that it really matters. And you, I want to be at -1200. Not the exact number actually matters. So panel, I want you to be down here at the beginning. So we'll say -700, sure. All right, and then here, all of it is there, and then you need to be like right there. So -730, sure. And then you need to be at +730. Okay. So now, if we look at that, yep. Like that. And so it's just 60 frames of animation, that's perfect. Okay. So now we need to create basically the opposite, which I think the easiest way to do that is just duplicate this. This is hide. So we can just copy the keyframes here, and then we'll take these keyframes, copy them, paste there. We will delete these keyframes. Control-C and then Control-V, and then delete these keyframes. And will that just work? Why did that happen? Okay, I want to copy you. Oh, this is in show. This is not in hide. This is in hide. Huh, interesting. So that's not registered to that. Alright. I don't know why. But sure, we'll... Wait, I select dialogue. Create a new clip, call it hide. Okay. So can I copy the keyframes from here into here? You can't copy across... No, you can. Okay. It's in hide. Okay, cool. And then in show. Alright. At frame 60. Can I have keyframe recording here? This is show. This is hide. Okay. Wait, how long is show? I thought it was 60 frames. Yeah, it is. Okay. This is in hide. Oh my god. Let me see. Frame 60. Frame 60 is like right there. Okay. I want these on frame 60. No, I'll put on frame 60. Okay, frame 61 we just delete. Okay. So now, yeah, there we go. So we have show and hide, and then in dialogue here, have show, we have hide, we have any state, okay. basically just need to create a new state. We call it idle. Idle, it will have no animations. So make a transition to here, make a transition to there, and then we make a transition to there. Okay. So it can only go from show, hide, can go from entry to show to idle, yeah, to hide to exit, yeah, that's all it can do. Okay, and I think so this doesn't loop, and I don't think we need to write the defaults on either of these. I think they're fine. So this is on entry. Actually, I think no, because I think we need to make a transition here, and we need to make a transition here. No, wait. Need to remove one of those. Need to remove you. Need to make a transition there. All right, and then you need to be the default state. Yeah, there we go. And so it should automatically go. Should be automatic. This has an exit time, that's fine. This does not have an exit time. So cannot preview transition, source state does not have any motion, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, these two don't have exit times. So this does have an exit time. I think this is like the default. I think there is no condition, so it should just happen automatically. And so in this case, these actually should have conditions. They should have, there should be two parameters. One should be called show, the other should be called hide. This is a trigger, this is called show. Should be another trigger. This one's called hide. So if show is set, then we go to show. And if hide is set, so this is idle to hide, actually this needs to be hide trigger, and this is the show trigger. All right, so I believe that will work. We just set the actual trigger, and then that should just automatically go here. It should just be an automatic transition. It has an exit time, so it should wait for the animation to finish. It does not loop, and it doesn't write the defaults, which is fine. Okay, I believe that will work. And so what we need to do is in here, we need an animator. Let's say public bool animator, animator. No, not bool, animator. Animator. And then in show, what we'll say is animator.setTrigger show. So set the show trigger, and then in hide, we will set the hide trigger. And then we'll have to figure out when to actually call that. But we're going to set ourselves active and then set the show trigger, and then after that, when that's done, we actually want to do the run after that. But it's going to be fine. I think there's a way that you can know when an animator, or when an animator changes state. I think there's a way you can do that. Also, what on earth? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought that was an issue with my camera. It's not. All right. Let us try this. So the default should be, actually no, the show needs to write defaults. Yeah, the show actually does need to write defaults. Yes, okay. And really, these should start off the screen. It doesn't actually matter where they start, but I don't want them on the screen at the beginning. Okay. So now we just assign this animator, and then we set this inactive. And yes, everything should just work, right? Yeah, there. Okay, that didn't work. All right, I don't know where those ended up. don't know why they... I guess the right defaults... What exactly happened there? Did we turn that off? Wait. Actually, that might have been the idle screwing up. Okay, yeah, there we go. Just the idle screwing up. Okay, now we get the animation, and then whenever I hit this, it should just animate away. Perfect. Love it. Alright, now I think we can set the animation speed a little bit later, but what I want to do is I don't want to be animating until, say, animator dot, we could say, is there like an on change? No. There's a, crossfade fixed time, culling mode, enabled, feet pivot, fire events, force state normalized time, get animator transition info with the informations on the current transition. No, I don't want to do that. I want to get, I think there's a way that you can trigger code from an animator. I think it's with the events. Let's say the show, right? Let's say right here we add a trigger or an event. Then we say the function, oh, interesting, okay. So sure, let's say on complete hide, or on complete show. Actually, let me see. Let me look at how Unity animation or animator trigger, not animator trigger, animation trigger, or not animation trigger, event, animation event. Look at how that actually works. What does it call? So this is public void C# animation called through an animator event. It looks like it just has to be. Do you need to set the object? So select multiple events on the timeline. Event. The inspector. I don't know if that object is the target or not. That's what I don't know. Oh, or object reference. Okay. So based on this, it should try to call a function called onCompleteShow. So if that's true, I should say void, and let's say debug.log. Say show animation complete. Okay. Let's try that and let's see what happens. I think that'll work. Yeah, okay, so that worked. So just to prove that, if we delete that, we shouldn't get that? Yes, okay. So that's good to know. Got to think about how I want to use that now. Okay. So we'll have an event, we'll call it, interesting. Oh, wait, why did that change? Wait, that's weird. Wait, why do I have to, now I'm confused. Show text asset, why does it know what the target is? Why does it know what the target is? I'm very confused. Because a second ago it didn't know what the target was. But now it does. So I go to hide, and I create a new animation event here. Well, you know what the target is. You don't. Interesting. Complete hide. So yeah, we'll call hide, and then we will call stop all coroutines animating blah blah blah. Okay. In show, what we want to do is we want to load the dialogue here, and when we're done showing everything, we actually load the dialogue. Yes. Okay. And then here we set active false. Set the trigger there, and then we say game object dot set active false. So we turn ourselves off. Okay. I think that will work. So we set the hide trigger, and then when we're done with hiding, then we turn ourselves invisible. So this should be on complete hide. And if we look at something else, then we look back at you. Do you? Yeah, okay. So in hide. Yeah, okay. I don't know how you know what the target is, but I guess you do. Oops, something's broken. What's broken? File does not exist in the current context. Oh, right, because we're not passing file in. Alright, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll do this, and we'll say just dialogue. Whoops. Say dialogue. Like here, run actually doesn't need a dialogue because we already know what it is. No, I don't remain unconvinced. I was going to say I remain unconvinced, but I don't. We'll use this version. Okay, there we go. I think that'll work, right? All right, let us find out. All right, so it does work. Okay, segment 1 loads, segment 2 loads, and then segment 3 loads. Then this will turn itself invisible, and yeah, there we go. Deactivate. Cool. Need to fix a couple things. The run, we need to basically put these two up on, not on run, but on here. These two need to go there. And then segment, so run basically just shows the first segment. Actually, we don't even need the run method anymore. We can just put that there. Cool. All right. Let's see. It has the default value. We probably want to clear the text. We can do that in not in awake. We can do that in the show. Yeah, we can do that in show. That'll just set all the text to its defaults. Okay. Then we can increase the animation speed if we need to. So yeah. And we actually probably want to deactivate both characters for that. So what we can say is left curtain curtain.setActive to be true. Want both curtains to be active. Okay, do that. And I am getting a message. Oh boy. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Well, that's not super important. Let's see. I mean, it is important, but not to this. Okay, So I think I have everything working. I do want to increase the animation speed though, because the animations did feel a little slow. So these two, we probably want both of those to have a speed of 2. And yeah. Whoa, what happened there? How did that happen? That was weird. So whenever I added 2 there, they both broke? Why did that happen? So these are fine. Interesting. I'll have to mess around with that at some point. But it does look like 0.5 or 0.2 is probably a little bit too slow. Probably need to up that to say 0.4 or something. Let's say 0.4, that'll be the default, and actually we need to fix that in here. Yeah, 0.5 or 0.4. So just double the speed. Seems even slower for some reason. Oh, that's the delay. What am I doing? It's 0.1. That'll double the speed, not have it. Okay, that's a little bit better. Curtains probably need to be a little bit darker, and they probably need to appear behind the nameplate. So we want the curtain there, and we probably want the curtain there. And we can probably increase the alpha to like 200. That's probably fine. All right. Let's see what we get. Yeah, I think that's better. And of course, you probably need to, I don't know, pause something or have some kind of, I don't know, probably need to pause or something. But given that we can trigger events with the animator, what we could do, because I'm trying to think of how we're going to do like the opening segments, and I think the way we're going to do it is with the animator. We're just going to use like triggering the events. Like one event will be like load dialogue, and it'll just load the dialogue by name. I think we'll just have our character kind of flying out into the void or something. I don't know. Have to think about it. Yeah, I don't want the player being able to, you know, like fly while this is going on. But yeah, we need like a thing at the bottom that says, you know, press whatever to continue. We need that too. So let us, actually with that, we probably want to decrease the text size. I want you to be maybe 30, that's probably fine. And then we will have another piece of text duplicate this. And we will just have u be a fixed size. We will have u be 0, 0. We will set the wrapping to nothing. Not have any wrapping. And what we will do is we will say like press space to continue. Continue. Cool. And then we will just make this size 20 or something. And we'll create like an animation for it. Press space. Actually, we don't even need to make an animation. You can just set it active or inactive, and then we can have a, well, no, that's fine. Have like a text, like a text flash component or something. Yeah, let's have like a text flash component thing, whatever. Be like UI, or be in scripts, no, it'll be in probably scripts effects, and it'll say like text flash component, flash component. Then what we'll do is we'll import TMP, using TMP or TM Pro, public text or TMP text. We'll say text. Then what we'll do is we'll have a private void update. We'll say public color, say from, say public color 2. And then what we will do is we will say text, and I think it's not vertex color. No. Text.color? Sure. Okay. Will be equal to, I think it's color.lerp. And we'll lerp from 2, and then the lerp will be mathf.sign from, actually, I think the lerp has to be 0 to 1. Oh, it lerps by t. Lerps by t, not to t. Actually, this isn't a lerp, this is a, no wait, no, it is a lerp. And it'll be time.time, and then we'll have a public float speed 1.0. This will be this times this.